Okay, guys, I just want to do a brief introduction. I know I did this before through text, and I want to actually show you a quick video on how to use IFBMT, Independent Fundamental Baptist Missionary Trails, to locate prophet chambers. That's one of the great many resources this application can help you with. That's just part of the data aspect. Of course, there's all of the great tools to use with that data. And that's the main purpose that the IFBMT is provide you tools to help manage, track, and organize your deputation trails, furlough trails, evangelistic trails, or maybe even support raising if you're starting a church here in the States. But first of all, where do you go to start looking for a prophet's chamber? Well, where most people like to start is the map. And they'll open up a map, and I already have a listing refinement of Oklahoma. And then I've added some tag refinement and some tag exception refinements. And that's how I got my list I have right now of 107 churches here in Oklahoma. And so what a lot of people see, they see this box up here that says all prophet chambers or RV hookups. And they'll come in here and they'll hit prophet chambers. And then they'll wait, and nothing is really changing. That's because all is still check marked as well. So they'll uncheck all. And then they'll wait a little bit, and sometimes you have to uncheck it, check it again. And then the prophet chambers do show up. But what if you're not looking for Oklahoma? You're looking for somewhere else. Then you got to go back and sort of, how do I get out of this search into a different search? So how do I find prophet chambers for people when someone asks, hey, I'm looking for a place to stay, and how do you find them so quickly? Been asked that a couple times. Well, let me show you how I do it myself, and a great way you can do it for your tools as well. Well, let's go back to the main menu, and instead of starting on the map, I like to start on the churches screen. And this, you see all your refinements right here in your list of churches. So first, let's open up the right side refinements. And if we want to save this refinement list to go back to after we're done, we can store the refinements and then reset. We'll pull that stored refinements back open. But right now, we're just going to clear. Here, I'll go ahead and do that. We're going to store that refinement list, and then I'll show you how to get back to the end. And then now that it's stored, we're going to clear the refinements. And again, if this panel is not open, if you're on a smaller display, hit this icon right at the top right corner. I call it the hamburger icon, or the action panel on the right side action panel, and that'll open this right side panel. And so now we have all the churches listed. So let's refine it to only churches that have prophet chambers. Well, prophet chamber is actually the tag in the right side action panel in the refinement. If you look under for missionaries, open that up, and you will see the prophet chamber tag. If you don't know what these tags mean, once again, hit the blue icon. They'll come up with a description of what they mean. But if you want to negate the refinement, so if you don't want to see churches that have no missions, you can negate that. But if you want to see churches that do have prophet chambers, you can just click here on the left side of it, and it will add it to the refinement. So this here is going to give us a list of all churches that have prophet chambers. For some reason, our numbers don't quite match up. There's a little bug in the script somewhere, so just ignore the two church differences. So here we have 507 churches that have prophets chambers. Well, that's all fine and dandy. And then you can, go up here and search by city or by state. But what do I do next? I don't do that search there yet. Now I go back to the map. Because now on the map, you will see all churches that have prophet chamber all over the world. And so just zoom in to a location where you're trying to get a place to stay at. And so a lot of most frequent requests, usually Dallas-Fort Worth area. It seems to, I've looked for that area several times. So I zoom into that area that I want to look at those churches. I might even zoom it out just a little bit. All depends on what kind of area you're looking for. So I'm going to zoom in and get these 4 in this area right here on my map. See if I can get all them displayed together on a map. And once you have all that you want to see on the map, come up to open the right side action panel again, and then refine the current bounds. That takes the map and takes those that were listed and pretty much clears all of the rest of the map. So now we're refining the church list by the map bounds where we were set at just a minute ago. So what does that do? On this screen, it doesn't really do much. But if you go back once again and then go into your churches list, yes, that same map bounds is now applied to the churches list. So now you have a quick overview of all the churches in that area that have prophet chambers. And so you can see their tags, if they line up with your beliefs, maybe they support other missionaries with your mission boards. Maybe you might know someone on this list by the pastor name. And then, of course, you can open them one at a time, go through them, see where they're at on the map again, see, and zoom in, zoom out. And actually, if you keep zooming out, you will see the other ones and how far apart they are from each other. 36 miles away, 33 miles away. And now if there is more in this 100-mile radius, so you see one down here that wasn't on my list before. Well, what this does, it pulls all the churches and takes off their map bounds and adds 100-mile radius bounds, not by driving, but just by as a bird flies 100-mile radius. So there's another one down here you might be interested as well, as if it's not too far away. And so the red dot is, of course, where you were at your location. And so then you have your phone number, you have email address, the pastor's name, website, all that great information. And then make sure as well, just on a side note, that there are some great notes here in the menu. If you look under the recent notes, there's some great stuff in here to help you get an insight to churches while you're calling them. Of course, you can have your own personal notes and community notes as well. We covered that in another topic before, so I'm not going to go into that whole discussion on that part right now. But that's how I find churches that have prophet chambers when somebody asks me for a specific area location, and I get a quick list of who all is in that area. Another thing I could do with this list, open the right side action panel, I could export this list of those 4 churches as a comma separated value list, which you could open in Excel or even Google Sheets. And so that's something you can do there as well with that function. And then, well, that search I had before, how do I get back to that? Because I was working those churches and then I got out of it and I want to get back to that search, that refinement I had before. Well, we stored it. So how do we pull it back? Just hit the reset refinement. And that pulls that same refinement that we had set up before we clear everything out. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helps you out to see how you can easily find prophet chambers by using independent Fundamental Baptist Missionary Trails. Thanks. God bless. Have a great day.